All right. Hello, everyone. We'll just give it probably 1 minute to go and get ahead and get started, just to let folks trickle in, and then we'll kick things off today. So just hold tight for a moment. All right, so we are officially at 9:01 my time in Eastern time, so we'll go ahead and get started. For anyone trickling in late or any colleagues that you may have who did not get a chance to join us today, we will be circulating the recording afterwards for your reference. So thank you very much for those who are on the line for joining us today. We'll be together here over the next 40 minutes together talking about designing the next generation of loyalty and omni-channel shopping incentive programs and how all of this can be quickly and flexibly built and really brought to life through composable products like commercetools and Voucherify. And we'll share some real life case studies of all of this in action as well. So we will be leaving some time, maybe about 5 minutes or so for Q&A at the end. So please do submit any questions that you have throughout the presentation into the designated Q&A spot in the channel. Should be up at the top there with a little bit of a question mark. It'll say Q&A, so you'll know that you're entering it in the right spot. All right, so we'll start just by kind of introducing ourselves first as today's speakers. I am Amy Cannon, and I am a technical account manager at Voucherify, which, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a composable loyalty and promotions engine. So personally, I've been in the composable commerce world for the last 4+ years now, having worked both as a systems integrator and now on the product side. So I have definitely seen a lot of changes in retail technology and, of course, consumer trends over these last years as well, and how important it is to really have a tech stack that's able to pivot to meet these changes and that's agile and flexible, which we'll be discussing in greater detail today. I'll turn it over to Carlos to introduce himself and then Dean as well before we dig in.
Thank you, Amy. Hi, my name is Carlos Simic. I work at commercetools as ISV partnership manager. And commercetools, as well, if you don't know, it is a global e-commerce company, and it is currently the market leader for composable commerce. And what we do is we enable companies flexibly customize and tailor the shopping experiences across markets essentially. And I've been with the company for coming up to 2 years now. I've worked a little bit in e-commerce before. My background is in sales, and my job, generally speaking, is talking to and maintaining our technology ecosystem. And as part of that, of course, I also have the pleasure of talking and working with Amy here from Voucherify. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everyone. Hey everyone, I'm Dean Maslick. I'm an e-commerce consultant and architect. I'm the founder of CommerceRite, a small specialized agency out of Sydney. Have been engaged with both Voucherify and commercetools for a number of years across a variety of projects. And yeah, looking forward to sharing some insights from the trenches.
Awesome. Thank you both very much. Looking forward to the discussion today. All right, so for a look then at what we have planned on our agenda for today, we'll start just by kind of setting the stage for loyalty expectations for customers, both current and future, and really what it means to achieve and strive for the next generation of loyalty to retain and incentivize customers in that ever-changing and very competitive retail environment. So from this, then we'll talk about how Voucherify and commercetools can support these next generation strategies, sharing, as I mentioned, some real life case studies of our joint customers, Beets and Roots, Breville, and Casa Shops. As we discuss that Breville case study, we'll do a deep dive with Dean there as well as the lead consultant on that project from CommerceRite. We'll then get into a bit of a brief live demo here to show multi-tiered loyalty programs with composable platforms in action. And that'll be giving you an example of the commercetools storefront powered by Voucherify's loyalty and promotions engine together. Then we'll hear from Carlos on different options for turbocharging loyalty with composable commerce. And from that, how a Big Bang or Strangler approach to this migration could help meet your needs. As part of this as well, you'll hear a little bit more about the commercetools connector. commercetools Connect there being a powerful connector that helps make these composable integrations, such as between Voucherify and commercetools, even easier. As I called out already, we will end with some time, 5 minutes or so for Q&A. So please feed your questions into the chat if you have them. All right. So loyalty programs, obviously now not a new or novel concept at this stage, but they are finding themselves really increasingly prevalent and a crucial touch point and expectation at this point for consumers to be rewarded for their purchases. So, obviously in the e-commerce world in particular, customers really have an almost unfathomable range of options in front of them at this stage. And they do expect to be rewarded for remaining loyal to brands amidst all of these options. And loyalty benefits really can be a key differentiator for them to choose to shop with a vendor, all other things being equal. Now, KPMG has found that 75% of consumers will favor a brand if there is a loyalty program. And 73% of buyers believe that loyalty programs should be a way for brands to demonstrate loyalty to their customers, which I think is kind of an interesting way to think about these programs. So there's kind of a two-way value here, right? This isn't just a customer being rewarded for their loyalty to a brand, but also a way for brands to show their commitment and loyalty in return back. So loyalty programs are really pulling customers in, but then also turning them into more valuable customers for the future. 64% of loyalty members are spending more money than the average shopper in order to maximize their points earnings. And members of loyalty programs are generating 12 to 18% more revenue annually on average than non-members. So we can see here that despite the involved costs to reward customers in loyalty programs, through cashback points or other gifts, at the end of the day, they are still reaping a greater revenue for the company due to those significantly higher rates of purchase from the gamification of these programs. All right, so here we have some key principles of loyalty schemes and markers of successful loyalty programs that I'll talk about a little here to set the stage. So firstly, they should be simple, right? The benefits should be clear, and how you can earn and use points or other rewards should be straightforward and easy to follow. They need to be valuable. So no one's going to care about a loyalty program that customers do not perceive as giving them equivalent value for their loyalty to the brand, right? Just as a good loyalty program can be a huge differentiator in a customer's decision to shop with a brand, a poor one can definitely drive them away, right? With low value offers that suggest the brand doesn't really prioritize their customers' loyalty. The program should be stimulating, engaging, and emotional. So these are programs that really draw people in for more and make them proud to be part of a community, really kind of building real relationships here. The program should be complementary and consistent across customer channels and touch points. So that's where having an omni-channel source of truth in a system like Voucherify is valuable. The program should be differentiating and set itself apart from others in the space, while of course also taking some inspiration from what they've seen working well for others. The programs need to be cost effective and really strike that sweet spot of having offers, valuable enough that they're incentivizing sales significantly without hurting margin in the process. So as part of this, non-monetary rewards can be valuable margin-friendly perks. So things like sneak peeks, event access, first dibs on new product launches as examples. And perhaps most importantly, they do need to be ever evolving. Change is constant. Consumer expectations and the market are constantly changing as well. And brands that aren't able to evolve to meet these needs are going to end up losing out. So also having flexible composable technology to allow these changes to be accommodated in real time is a must. And kind of beyond then all of these key principles of loyalty schemes, nowadays to capture customer engagement, I think it's important to call out as well that a company has to be communicating with their customers through multiple channels in a consistent and on brand manner. So customers are really expecting personalized offers, but personalized offers are also bringing a higher ROI for companies. So this is a really win-win scenario for both customers and the businesses alike. In this way, personalization can also be thought of as a loyalty incentive, as the basis that can be used to present promotions rather to different customers based on information that we've learned from their self-identification in the loyalty program, such as their past purchasing behavior and their interests. So another kind of reward here for their loyalty and for actually providing us with this valuable personal data. Things like contextual notifications, storytelling, gamification, all of these bring more customer engagement, really creating a conversation with a customer and making them feel kind of more special, individually engaged, rather than just giving them kind of a one size fits all cashback or catch all kind of offer for every order. The last note I'll call out here is that loyalty programs shouldn't be removed or separate or built in isolation from other marketing campaigns. These should really be an integral part of the pricing and promotion strategy as customers are really evaluating the total discount or the total value that they're getting from the company. But also something to be aware of here is if customers are not using stacking and exclusions, they can lose money in this process through promotion fraud, promotion abuse, stacking coupons to discount beyond product margins. So this is where tools like Voucherify can come into play as well to really kind of put these parameters on these programs and how they interact with other promotions to support customers while protecting the business. Now, if we look at the traits of next generation loyalty programs, building kind of off of those last principles and foundations I shared, you'll see some of the strategies that I just mentioned on the last slide called out again here. And I do think kind of the biggest overall theme to really call out is that next generation loyalty programs are not going to be one size fits all. You'll hear me saying that quite a bit throughout the webinar today. So customers do expect a program to be personalized to them, to give them incentives that are resonating with their purchasing behavior and interests. And the program should be true to brand as well, right? So earning rules and strategy that work really well in one industry will not necessarily work in another. Thinking about, maybe luxury brands as an example. So typically they're avoiding kind of cheapening their brand through heavy discounts, and they're focusing more on exclusivity. So, these are where more of those kind of non-monetary benefits that mentioned earlier will come into play. So things like the exclusive pre-sales, events, first access here to some limited time items. So next generation loyalty programs are really kind of living, breathing ecosystems that don't exist in isolation of other promotions or have vastly different experiences online, in store, or anywhere in between. A next generation loyalty program really provides a consistent and personalized experience wherever a customer may be shopping and will communicate with its customers in a contextual and timely manner. And of course, with the rise of predictive AI, loyalty programs are definitely a very vastly important source of data that can be integrated through composable commerce to these external tools that can evaluate all of this data and provide suggestions on how to use it to optimize sales at the lowest cost through targeted and individual loyalty promotions and pricing. Now, we'll look at 3 different examples here of customers who used both Voucherify's loyalty and promotions engine and commercetools commerce platform to bring loyalty and referral programs to life. So I'd like to turn it over to Carlos now to first share his experience from the commercetools side with Beets and Roots, and then I'll supplement a little bit more from the Voucherify perspective as well.
Thank you, Amy. So yes, Beets and Roots is the first common customer that we're going to be talking about here today, and it's a very interesting one as well because it's not really a traditional e-commerce business because their core product is food, and actually the founder is a Michelin star chef, and what was the aim of the company is to fill the gap in freshly prepared and health conscious food across Germany. So of course a unique challenge, and it's a unique challenge to deliver this product customization really without slowing down customer experience and achieve that by being flexible. So this is why they turned to commerce tools, and this is really when they wanted to be an API first technology organization. And it was quite a success story, I'd say. Only 4 months later, after we started working together, they were able to get their website up and running. And of course, a lot of things have happened since then. And I'll pass it back to Amy to talk about it from a Voucherify side.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Carlos, because I think that quick time to value is sort of the theme that I'm calling out from Voucherify's side as well, in terms of our experience here with Beets and Roots. So I really do think this is a great example of how quick and easy a composable implementation can be to really get a program live and running quickly and at minimum cost there so they can make money faster. So, we've been kind of talking about next generation programs needing to be flexible and dynamic and not always being kind of one size fits all, but sometimes it is kind of the simple route that's also the right route depending on the business. So, if we think kind of back to that principle number one that I shared of successful loyalty schemes, the first was simplicity, right? So it should be easy to follow and with clear benefit. And that's really what Beets and Roots did here to encourage customer loyalty through referral incentives, while in the process incentivizing new customers as well. So as you can see up on the screen here, right, they set up a two-sided referral program, simple €5 given off a customer's first order when they're referred by a friend, and then giving that referring friend in turn €5 off their next order as well. So really kind of simple but effective, right? So they were able to launch this program with Voucherify and Commerce Tools very quickly, as Carlos shared, and really organically increase their customer base at, what I would consider a relatively low acquisition cost here of just kind of the €10 a referral for both parties. Now, we would like to share more about Casa Shops as well. So this is another joint story kind of between Commerce Tools and Voucherify before we move on to our third and final case study. So Carlos, would you like to start this one off as well, from the Commerce Tools perspective in terms of your work with Casa here?
Absolutely. So, Casa Shops, first of all, it is a Belgian retail chain known for fairly trendy and cool furniture. And they started their e-commerce journey a few years, of course, before they turned to commerce tools. But they were a very willing company to work with. They really wanted to get headfirst into headless. And they had done their research as well. And they came across commerce tools and the Mac Alliance, and this is really an example of a company that was really wanted to make a change in their business, and they did want to transform themselves from traditional offline focused retailer to much more to a truly omni-channel operating team. And there were kind of three main elements, I would say, at least initially, what they were looking to do. So first of all, they wanted to enable click and collect capabilities. So that was very important for them to harmonize the online and the offline world that they were operating in. And they needed to be, well, they needed to be able to do specific integrations. So they needed to be able to integrate with their all the ERP system, etc. So they needed to have that flexibility as well from the e-commerce platform. And yeah, and then of course they also needed a multi-language and multi-currency approach because again they're present in 8 countries. So all of these things combined, it was really kind of the perfect situation where to put commerce tools to use, and it's been a very good success story from our side as well. And yeah, Amy, I'll let you take the loyalty part.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. So I think really kind of the omni-channel side of it is what jumps out to me here as kind of the key win for this implementation. So yeah, talking about the loyalty side of things, we did launch an international loyalty program with Casa across 8 different countries. And this was, of course, integrating with commerce tools as well as more than 500 in-store Toshiba point of sale systems. So, this omni-channel program allowed customers to collect points online and at any of these physical store points of sales very seamlessly in real time with Voucherify integrated across all of these touch points for that centralized shared program across countries, across in-store and online. So this did really allow them to build that consistent omni-channel experience, again, across all these many touch points with points updating in real time, and allowed for that flexibility to build, again, that shared program across multiple countries that was also able to support multiple currencies together. So again, here, talking about the mock focus here, definitely composable commerce technologies through Voucherify and commercetools here really allowed for more easy scaled international management of this program to make it all possible. Now, lastly, we'll talk about Breville. So I think once again, I'll ask Carlos to start us off here just from the commercetools perspective on this integration. I'll share more on kind of Voucherify's involvement in this program launch for subscription promotions. And then we'll turn it over to Dean to dig deeper here, specifically from the commerce rights side of things.
Thanks, Amy. So yes, Breville is a leading kitchen appliance manufacturer, of course, and they were having some issues with their existing e-commerce solutions. So they were seeing it being quite slow to develop new solutions, new sites, and execute on go-to-market strategies. And it all really kind of took months, right? So it was really becoming a big pain point for them. So and in response as well to evolving customer needs during and after the pandemic, Breville needed to enhance agility and responsiveness to better serve its customers across various channels. So there were a few very concrete requirements from their point of view. So they definitely wanted a headless solution that would allow to create unique storefronts for each of the brands. This, of course, also includes the Beans brand as well there. And they did want to have, again, an omnichannel experience in their direct consumer one-stop shop. So Breville.com and Beans.com. And they ended up going with commercetools, and they ended up going with commercetools because we were able to provide that agility and speed to market that they were really looking for in order to actually start, reducing the time to new features from months to really days, and to have that flexibility to manage multiple brands and global territory from a single commercetools project essentially, which of course also allows for some good loyalty opportunities there. And yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, they re-platformed, and Dean will be able to talk about that a little bit more. But I think both Beans and Breville sites were deployed into 12 countries in 12 months. So it was a good deployment there. And again, yes, I mean, there's some exciting cross promotion opportunities there that Amy can talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks very much. So, yeah, from the Voucherify perspective, definitely, obviously, we have a lot of overlap in sort of what Breville came to us with and the use cases that they want to solve from what they're sharing with commercetools. So, yeah, again, just reiterating some of what Carla shared, some of the key requirements they came to us with were really seamless integration of promotion experiences with commercetools, and the ability also to run really flexible promotions that each kind of required a different, more specific approach and eligibility rules, again, including things like specific subscription bundling for their coffee beans. So this included scenarios for things like giving varying dynamic cashback discounts based on different kind of intervals of coffee beans purchased at, 20 bags, 40 bags, 60 bags, and so on. Um, Leaning off what Carlos mentioned about kind of the omni-channel experience, that's a call out for how we worked with Breville here as well. So, besides just those purely digital campaigns, the subscription bundling, Breville also uses Voucherify for offline to online campaigns. So, an example of this is where coupon codes or QR codes from Voucherify are actually physically printed and added to products sold through physical in-store retailers. So then upon unpacking there, customers find those promo codes, which they can use on Breville's e-commerce site, bringing them offline to online. So with this integration now with Voucherify on top of commercetools, the Breville team can run plenty of campaigns targeting different customer segments, as well as targeting different products, again, in both online and offline shopping contexts. So all of this led to an increase in savings, increase in conversions, and increase in international recognition for the promotions at play. Now I'll turn it over to Dean to share more about Breville's integration story as kind of the key man on the ground during this implementation that was led by Commerce Right to connect Voucherify, commercetools, and Breville.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. Yeah, it was a great experience. I had the privilege of working both with Breville product and technology team, as well as the Voucherify and commerce tools teams out of Europe. So it was a kind of international gathering across time zones and geography. So it was a great experience. As you guys both pointed out, we did cover some really interesting and complex scenarios around bundling vouchers and gift card kind of gifting and gift card experiences as well. What I might just do a quick summary is really the highlights that I took away without going too deep into the technicalities and boring everyone. But it was a really great experience in terms of the flexibility and the documentation around the APIs, which then allowed architects to kind of look at the documentation, understand the capabilities, and design the solutions around that. And at the same time, developers were able to easily follow through and integrate. Um, this was all before the official connector was available, so we had fun kind of building our own internal connector while the main one was being developed by your teams. Another great thing was the ability to start to just fire up a free sandbox. Again, super flexible, super easy. You go in and you sign up. You get access to all the functionality in a sandbox environment, and it's again, I remember we started configuring and playing around with campaigns. And within days, we had a couple of very simple prototypes up on the screen, trying to figure out how things are going, even before sort of the official project has kicked off. Another important one is speed to market. It literally took weeks and not months from idea to MVP. Um, there was, at a point of time, there was a holiday period or holiday season was approaching, and with the internal capable team and the support from Voucherify and commercetools, we were able to very quickly um, create an MVP product for a particular campaign and launch it just in time for the holiday period. Um, Another big one is, of course, the pre-built connector. Now that obviously makes things a lot easier, and I've seen that across some other projects as well. So that's kind of a free gift from Voucherify and commercetools to make that connection much quicker and easier. And again, personally, great experience working across all the teams, both client side and vendor side. It was is great project. A couple of key learnings that I could kind of take away is one is really trying to get clear business requirements, and that's not specific to this project, that's generally across projects. But because Voucherify has such a large amount of flexibility and levers to pull when it comes to promotions and vouchers, whether it's stacking or whether it's other features, it's really important to get business involved early on and get them thinking um, where do they really want to where they want to really go with it, because that helps the developers and the implementation team really stitch things together in the right way. Another one, start simple. Don't try with an MVP approach with a smaller brand, which was the case in Breville's situation, where the smaller beans brand was kind of the first project. The teams learn and evolve, and it really helps meet those timelines, and get the product out as soon as possible. And last one is really any tips for anyone listening is really try use the connector. Don't spend time trying to build something that's already there. There will be situations where you need to enhance it and kind of work around it because of the specific requirements. But it's really there to be used, and it's a great product. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys. That's for me.
Thank you. And that's a good little teaser because we're going to be hearing more about the connector in greater detail from Carla soon. But yeah, thank you for sharing. I know it's definitely a favorite case study of mine, and I think a really great example of composable teams in action coming together to build a really great product and really great loyalty scheme for Breville and their customers there. Fabulous. So just before kind of we get into our demo, more of a discussion on the Commerce Tools connector as well. Do want to call out another topic of growing interest for next generation loyalty programs that I've been hearing a lot about recently, and that's loyalty within the B2B space. So at Commerce Tools Elevate conference that I attended in Miami last month, this was definitely a topic that got brought up a lot in conversations being had that I did want to touch on briefly here. So, historically, loyalty programs have been a little bit more skewed generally towards the B2C space, but increasingly B2B players are seeing this also as a useful strategy for earning and retaining customers. And while a lot can be borrowed from the B2C playlist, there are also some overall kind of inherent differences in the way that B2B organizations kind of think about loyalty compared to B2C. And these again are showing that loyalty is not and should not be one size fits all, and the importance there for loyalty and commerce platforms to be able to support different types of loyalty programs together. So, typically B2C programs are rewarding past behavior and we're giving customers points for past purchases to use in exchange for gifts. The earning and exchange of points there is usually happening fairly quickly, right? Quick gratification that the customer needs to see the immediate value and benefit of that program. Whereas B2B generally may be a little bit more focused on future behavior and longer term partnerships. So, more often they'll be looking at things like giving rebates on future purchases or rewards tied to longer contract sign ons or early renewals. Whereas B2C will typically reward customers with more monetary equivalents, cashback, gifts, etc. B2B players are also looking a little bit more in the non-monetary space, with loyalty and partner rewards, looking at things like co-sponsorships, boosted promotions on their website, sneak peek access, and more. And while these are obviously non-prescriptive, some of these examples I think do just give a feel again for how the loyalty program that you structure and its benefits will vary based on your business and goals. So again, just calling it out clearly here that next gen loyalty is not one size fits all, and an earning reward structure that suits your needs now may not in the future, even just months from now. So building a future-proof loyalty platform, it really is made easier with the flexibility that Voucherify and Commerce Tools can provide in this space so that you can be confident that kind of really as big as you dream, you can build it in our systems. Now, the building blocks of composable commerce do allow you to use best of breed technologies to power loyalty programs, as we've been calling out, with very high degrees of flexibility, customization, and personalization, with the ability there to automate and scale to meet consumer needs in real time. So again, this is where Voucherify and Commerce Tools pair well, along with integrators like CommerceRight to bring it all together and give the ability to earn and redeem loyalty points, on top of a native cart and checkout. So here now we'll share just kind of a very brief demo of a live Commerce Tools storefront that is integrated with Voucherify's loyalty and promotions APIs. So during this demo, you'll be able to see contextual promotion and loyalty recommendations to customers who are first anonymous and then logged in as loyalty members. And you can also see how we can present loyalty points for redemption as rewards in a Commerce Tools storefront, all through a native dashboard powered in Voucherify, along with contextual tier-specific promotions. So up on the screen here in a moment, you will see the Good Store, which is a live Commerce Tools storefront. And as the video plays, you'll see us browsing here, first as an anonymous user who's not part of the loyalty scheme. So you'll see when they add an item to their cart, they're going to get some general promotion upsell recommendations. So things like bundling for specific products or generic shared accounts. I think we have Black Friday codes for them as an example, but nothing contextual or personal. So we'll see how these available promotions are changing when they present themselves as someone who is a loyalty member and specifically a gold tier member. all of a sudden the available discounts jump up to 9. We're seeing personal codes available. We're seeing 15% off for loyalty members. We're seeing they have a special offer where they can get a purple landscape painting if they spend more than $4,000, available to gold tier members only. So immediately we see that change in contextual recommendations. Now, what you're seeing here in the account is Voucherify's embedded loyalty cockpit presented in the commercetools storefront. So this is going to show customers their loyalty points, any available gift card credits, their loyalty tier, and when that tier will expire. They can see details on how they can earn points, and they can actually redeem their points for rewards live in this cockpit. So we can see here they're selecting the 10% off Shakers reward. Immediately that their points have been depleted for that purchase. And if they come back into their cart, we're going to see that now this customer is going to have an additional 10th discount available to them, presented by Voucherify's qualifications API in the commercetools cart for that shaker that we've purchased. So obviously this was a little bit of a speed round running through, but the purpose of this is to show the integration of Voucherify and commercetools, show how real-time these updates are, and showing how we can use Voucherify's qualifications API to present upsell nudges, and to provide unique discounts to customers based on loyalty tier. Now, to talk more about kind of the integration between Voucherify and commercetools Connect, which we've teased a little bit, and different migration paths, I'm going to turn it back over to Carlos now.
Thank you, Amy. So yes, let's say that you've listened to this webinar and you're very interested in figuring out how you can use Voucherify or how you can integrate that to your commercetools project. Well, I'm here to give a little bit of a talk about that. So, I mean, there's a couple of ways how you can do it, of course. So there is the big bang approach. So if you're currently still in the configuration phase of migrating to commercetools, you can use essentially Connect to put the Voucherify integration there. The pros there are that it is a clean state. There is no defined kind of cutoff point with your old system, or any kind of decouplings there. Or perhaps the more common way, I guess, as well, that's happening these days is the strangler approach, where you would introduce Voucherify functionality gradually into your commercetools project, which again kind of reduces the risk that you would take with a big shift and a big change. It allows you to experiment and allows you to actually reap the benefits of a quicker and faster ROI. So there's a couple of those things. So I kind of I speed run through this slide, but let's go to the next one, and then there I'll stay a little bit longer because we're talking about this connector with Voucherify. But it does beg the question maybe as well, talking about, well, what is Connect then, and then how does this connector work? So Connect is more or less an infrastructure layer provided by commercetools to run your third-party integrations. If we're looking historically speaking, this was a question left for SIs or for the clients themselves to figure out how they're managing the cloud infrastructure. So with Connect, we provide this. We provide that with our commercetools SLAs, so 99.9% performance and uptime SLA, and yeah, we more or less make it as easy as we can to integrate a Voucherify connector, for example, as well. And it's not really like a classic plugin or like a classic click to install app, because you can do that, of course, and you have this functionality, and you can look at about Voucherify integration and see what is included in there. But given how we are composable and we like to give flexibility to everyone and the opportunity to work on the projects, it is possible to essentially take the code base as well, work on it, and make sure that you make it exactly what you want it to be for your project. And then you can redeploy it still using the Connect infrastructure to run that. So there's still quite a lot of flexibility, quite a lot of options. So we're not really taking any of that away. We're just making it easier, essentially, to integrate with Voucherify or with other technology partners that we have on the Connect project program. And I guess with that, I'll conclude my Connect speech. And Amy, I'll give it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So I think we are pretty much right on time with our timing. We have a few minutes left here. We did leave a little bit of time for Q&A. So again, you can continue to file questions into the questions area of the webinar. We might have time to just answer one right now, but any questions that are submitted that we don't get to, we can reach out separately, and you can actually reach out to us as well. I'm going to before we get into the last questions, just flash this up on the screen here again. If you'd like to take a screenshot, feel free to reach out to any of us individually directly with our email addresses shared here. We also have some links included for some helpful documentation if you want to hear more about Commerce Tools Connect, as Carlos just shared here, as well as the Voucherify and Commerce Tools integration. Now I see we do have a question here that will probably be the one that we select for use today, again, just in the interest of time. It looks like it has to do with AI. So wanting to hear a little bit more about how our respective teams are kind of planning to use AI in the loyalty and promotion space in the near future. I don't know, Dean or Carlos, if you'd like to take that one first, and I can supplement from the Voucherify perspective for sure.
Well, I guess I can pitch in a little bit from our point of view and how we're looking at it. So we're seeing AI as being, of course, a very useful tool and a very useful thing to use going forward. So first of all, of course, for boosting productivity, and also for augmenting how customer engagement work, utilizing AI products for chatbots, for product search, personalization, and so on. And as well, of course, to leverage data for generating more or less instant insights, actually, as well, to tap into wealth of data of yeah, optimizing pricing, inventory more. So there's quite a few avenues to explore, right? And I would say that the commerce tools we're dipping our toes in there as well. So we have introduced as well a chatbot for our documentation to make it easier for developers when they are looking for things, and to make sure that we help in the implementation process as much as possible. But there's definitely more to come, and this is a very fast developing area. Dean, I'll give it to you, somebody who actually understands a little bit more about technology than partnerships manager.
Yeah, I think, I mean, AI is everywhere. I think in this particular context, I'm thinking it's probably going to be in the personalization space. So the ability to analyze a huge amount of data, look at customers' previous buying experience or buying habits, particular products or product ranges they select, and then I would imagine the engines behind Voucherify and inside Commerce Tools would again be able to personalize whatever is returned back to the customer, whether it's a particular time of the year or season, or remember birthdays and all, make all that data useful to actually entice customers to continue buying and produce offers that go along with that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll end just kind of from Voucherify's perspective, somewhere in the middle there, right, of kind of the chatbots and the developer automation and the personalization. We're definitely looking to situate ourselves in the middle there as a really, I called this out in the presentation earlier, but Voucherify and other loyalty and promotions engines can be a really, really great data source of tools to see historically how customers have interacted with products, with promotions. We can be a data source to integrate with those types of smart AI tools that will aggregate this data and say, based on this that we've seen in the past, this is how we should segment these groups of customers. And these are the types of promotions that really play well with these types of groups. And then on the other side of it, we are doing a lot in kind of the development aid space as well, right? So again, kind of going back to the conversations we have of Commerce Tools Connect and all of kind of the integrator speed ups, if you will, everything that we're trying to do to make integration much easier for our customers, to make go-to-market smoother. We're playing a lot in that space to aid developers kind of take away or automate some of that grunt work so that they can kind of focus their energies on being a little bit more creative and again getting to market faster. So that's some of what you have to look forward to in the AI space from us. Thank you, everyone. I know we are over time now. Again, do really appreciate your time. As we mentioned, any follow-up questions, please reach out to any of us directly, and we will be sending out the recording of this webinar afterwards. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of the day. And thank you, Carlos and Dina, as well.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.